Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. And, one of my mentors, State Senator Lester Jackson, I've always heard him say that politics is just like football or basketball. It is a full-on contact sport. And through this, we have heard from many scholars, we've heard from parents, we've heard from teachers. And I fully support my colleague of the 5th and anyone who is objectively looking at the data that is being provided by scientists and experts on these matters can see that it's simply not safe. We require teachers to be data-driven in their instruction. And as such, we must be data-driven in our decision-making. Our cases continue to rise. Since our last meeting, cases have increased by 33% in Spalding County alone and almost 51% statewide. No one can guarantee that cases will not continue to increase as a result of our buildings reopening. Not one scholar, not one faculty member, and not one staff member in our schools should have to carry the weight of concern over whether or not today will be the day that they contract this deadly disease. If we have to open our school buildings with an exhaustive list of provisions in place, we are not safe. I have heard from many of my constituents within the 1st District, as well as others outside of my district, and I would not be a responsible elected official if I did not take into consideration their concerns and make a decision that I felt served them and it was in the best interest of our district and a community as a whole. I have asked many critical questions in order to gain assurance of the fact that our schools are and will be safe moving into this new school year. Some of the answers that I have received have not given me the confidence I need to vote yes on this. I am always going to advocate for the health and safety of every single student, every single person that is impacted by the Griffin-Spalding County schools every day. As it relates to the frequently asked questions, one thing I'm not in favor of is having teachers to do deep cleaning. The young people, when they put the two words together, deep, or for real, you know that it's a problem. However, we must make sure that time is allotted for rooms to be cleaned, that this is still unclear, which is another reason we cannot ensure the safety of every scholar and numbers are steadily increasing. However, colleagues, this moment gives us an opportunity to be innovative and rely on our communities to collectively in order to meet the needs of our constituents. We may never return to normalcy as we once knew it. Let us do the work to figure out how we can continue to provide a rigorous and quality education for our scholars virtually. Every student in our district still deserves an equitable education. This means we need to exhaust every avenue possible to ensure that resources are met each and every day to meet the needs of our students, with a particular focus on the needs of our students with exceptionalities, such as students that have ADHD, students that have autism, and of course, our Black and brown students and all students. Creating equity in our instructional practices virtually can not only meet our short-term needs, but it can also benefit us in the long term as we discover that some of the virtual strategies can be implemented even when entering back into the buildings. We have a grand opportunity, folks, to improve our instruction overall and when we are inclusive of all resources that are available. Mr. Chair, if there's any time left, I yield the balance of my time. Thank you for listening.